All right, so obviously Samsung doesn't watch this channel, because if they did, they would have not made some of the decisions they have apparently made about the S26 Ultra. So why not? Someone tell Samsung, you got to listen to Steve, because I'm just hitting my head over here. So we will go ahead and get into that. We'll go ahead and get into all of the confirmed and rumored specs for the S26 line. So let's get to it. All right, so first up, the battery's the same size for the S26 Ultra. Still at 5,000 mAh, which, you know, is not bad. It serves the 25 Ultra just fine. Hopefully the additional power from the updated Gen 5 Snapdragon 8 Elite over the Gen 3 of the S25 Ultras does not draw too much power. The screen still is a 6.9-inch QHD plus AMOLED screen. That means we're still not to 4K, but you're not probably going to notice the difference between that and 4K on a screen that size anyway, so not that big a deal. The cameras got an update. You might not think it looking at it from just kind of a pure numbers perspective. You still have the 200 megapixel, the wide camera, which is the main camera, and the other ones are the same as well, but the aperture changed. And if you don't know anything about cameras, the aperture is basically how wide the lens opens to let light in, so it lets in more light, which means a couple important things for photo and video. A, it lets more light in, which means it's better in low light, which phones are notoriously bad at, so that's excellent. For those of you out there who actually understand what these things mean, it was f1.7, now it's f1.4 on the 200 megapixel. It's down to 2.9 from 3.4 on the periscope telephoto lens. And speaking of the periscope telephoto lens, it also apparently has better stability. So using that lens probably won't be a jittery mess anymore, which is good. Personally, I don't use much besides the regular wide setting because I shoot like this. I don't shoot things far away. It would be silly for me to be far away. There's a wall there. Anyway, also with the camera, apparently they are having a more native camera, like app controller type thing. So kind of like the Pro setting on the current camera, but way better. So that is something to look forward to because, I mean, Samsung's come a little bit of a way, but not far enough for me. It will be running Android 16 with One UI 8.5. So the entire camera breakdown then is the 200 megapixel wide, we've got a 50 megapixel ultra wide, a 10 megapixel telephoto, and a 50 megapixel periscope telephoto. And then the front camera is 12. So not bad. That's basically what's been confirmed so far as camera specs. However, there's one thing that the specs leave out, and that is the fact that the camera lenses protrude from the case. And now we're getting into what got me all heated and had to make this video. We have the confirmation that this is the case, as well as the confirmation, I think, of some colors, which is, I do like that. But the protruding camera lenses are just the dumbest flippin' thing about the Z Fold 7. It causes so many issues. The thing wobbles on the table. It has a hard time with MagSafe charging. I'm relatively certain, and correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but that is part of the reason that the coil has to be moved over a little bit. Just because once they get as thin as needing to protrude the cameras and have that extra bit of area, it takes up spot that then the coil has to be moved, so misaligned. So it's a possibility that we're going to have the same issues with the 26 Ultra that we do with the Z Fold 7 as far as case alignment and MagSafe charging. Now that's unconfirmed, and that's just my supposition, and I could be way off base there. But what is confirmed is the fact that it's got that stupid island, which will cause issues for the larger MagSafe power banks and your wallets and all sorts of things. And we already know that most companies don't make stuff specifically for Android's weirdness. They design for the iPhone, and if the Android is on board, they're on board, and if they're not, they're not. That's what happens when you have less market share. Some will. Spigen did, for example. MagBack did, as far as wallets with specific cutouts for the dumb Z Fold 7 thing, and you know, I guess also for the S26 Ultra, because you know, it does, the wallets do overlap, and they make people think they interfere with this, but it didn't actually get to the sensor, so it didn't interfere. So like if it was right here, it wasn't a problem. But you can't go right here if it's protruding, which is the issue. We still have this dumb layout of cameras. This camera doesn't need to be here. It could be over here. It could be over here. They could figure it out. I mean, I know the antenna has to be somewhere, but they could figure out where it's not like this. Apple did, and apparently they want to be Apple because they rounded the corners even more. But why? Why would they make it harder? They make it harder on the case manufacturers, they make it harder on the MagSafe people, they make it harder on the general consumer because they don't know this junk. They buy something expecting it to work, and then they're like, well, hold on, I've got an example here, hold on. 25 Ultra people who are here wondering about the 26 Ultra, you get to see what you get to look forward to. This is a Z Fold 7. You see how it's got the protrudy bump? Actually, you know what? This is what we're gonna do. I don't have either of my cameras set up as B-roll. So I will just use both of my cameras as B-roll. All right. You see how it's got the protrudy bump? That's what you have to look forward to. They are keeping this layout of the camera things, which is ridiculous. Why they can't move this for over here or out of the way so it's not such a bother. So you've got this protrusion, right? Then you take something like a power bank, and then you go and you put it onto the camera, and you're like, dang, why can't it attach? Because there's this stupid bump in the way. So that's what you have to look forward to. You have to look forward to not being able to put your stuff on the back of your phone, needing to tilt it so it's all wonky like this for it to even to be able to fit. And for some cases to deal with it better than others, and for that to be a consideration when they could have just moved the flippin' camera. But they didn't, because they're not making big steps with the 26 Ultra over the 25, other than I guess rounding the corners more. That's the big cosmetic change they're going to make. Rounding the corners more and putting a stupid island in that's just going to mess with stuff. And hey, if you are getting value out of this, please do go ahead and give me a subscribe. Really helps the channel out as far as getting us growing and getting us out there, and maybe getting Samsung to watch me and take my wonderful advice. Get your act together. Now, speaking of MagSafe, rumors, it's still rumors, are that it is going to natively support it. So that means it's going to have the magnets in there. So we'll at least be able to see where the coil is using the little magnet papers rather than needing the diagram, the breakdown, to be able to like suss out whether or not it's moved or not. So that's good. And also having native MagSafe support, also good. But that's rumored, but everything points towards it, which is nice. It's also the Qi 2.2, which is the 25 watt, is likely for the 26 Ultra, especially since Samsung has announced a 25 watt, MagSafe wireless charger. So it goes to follow that it probably handles the new Qi 2.2 standard. And the RAM, I believe we only have rumors for at 12 minimum. I mean, maybe. The trifold did have 16 minimum, which is nice, but we'll see if the 26 Ultra has 12 or 16. All right, and I promised you some 26 and 26 Plus confirmed and rumored specs. So here we go, rapid fire, because I'm not getting one of these, so I don't care nearly as much. The 26 Ultra gets me heated though. The main difference between these is the screen, where the S26 has the 6.3 inch full HD screen, so that's the old, what's called HD, what you think of as an HD before 4K came out, and then the 26 Plus has a 6.7 inch QHD screen, which is kind of in between HD and 4K, but not as close to 4K as QHD Plus is, obviously. I'm just gonna pull the specs over here and read them to you, because that is, I'm not even committing these to memory. All right. The back will have the triple camera, and they have also decided to have this stupid camera island. So that's gonna be super fun for the smaller phones, because that means like no large MagSafe accessories will work. They just won't have the space. They look the same except for their size. We do know that there is a 256 gigabyte model. The battery is going to be a 4300 mAh. In America, we'll probably get the Snapdragon Elite, but in Europe, the Samsung Exynos 2600 has been confirmed. It does have Android 16. We're not certain on the UI, but it's probably going to be one UI 8.5. The cameras on the back are 50 megapixels for the main, 12 megapixels for the ultra wide, and 10 megapixels for the telephoto. And then the selfie camera is also the 12 megapixel, so the same as is on the S26 Ultra. That's interesting. As far as the 26 Plus, same thing on the storage. Its battery will be 4.9 amps or 4900 mAh. It is confirmed to have Android 16 and One UI 8.5. And the weight difference is 137 grams for the regular and 190 for the Plus. And then they have the exact same cameras. So that's what we know about the 26 and the 26 Plus. The 26 Ultra is only 7.9 millimeters thick, which is really good. And it weighs 214 grams. But it's not that much thinner than the 25 Ultra, so I don't know why they had to put the stupid island. Nothing confirmed yet for the colors of the S26 Ultra, but we do have the leaked colors of black, white, cobalt violet, pink gold, sky shadow, and... No, not sky shadow. Sky blue and silver shadow. Sky blue and silver shadow, that's what it is. All right, so am I off base here getting this upset? I mean, Z Fold 7 owners, chime in down in the comments. Back me up here on how annoying this can be for our mainline phone owners, so they don't know that I'm just getting this heated out of nowhere. Samsung, come on. I've asked you in previous videos to get your act together as far as design. There's no reason for the cameras to be laid out that way. You can make it better. You can make it so it doesn't interfere with anything. You can make it so it doesn't have a stupid island, so it can lay flat on a table without wibble wobble, wibble wobble. And it does that in a case too, so that's really annoying unless the case accommodates it, which very few do. I'm getting heated again. All right, so let me know down in the comments if you think I am overreacting here. I have said everything that I know. Anything I say from here on will be just me repeating myself and getting more and more angry. So we are still having a giveaway here, and if you want to know information about that, that is here in this video. And over here, I have put the playlist for the Z Fold 7 cases, so you can see all of the trouble I have constantly with the raised camera island thing. So if you're interested in watching why that's a problem, it's there. I have been Steve. We will have the 26 Ultra eventually, and I will see you in the next one.